Ever heard of One Piece? Ever heard of Nakama? Nakama means family, and family means nobody gets yeeted, dickhead. Sanji is introduced correcting Lieutenant Fullbody on his taste in wine. The whole time, Fullbody was setting up a lie to impress his date. Meh, it's all poison. Fullbody retaliates by demolishing the Baratier's credibility. But Sanji says we have no credibility, except Sanji's actual joke got laughs. And Fullbody didn't like that one bit. Mm-mm. So Sanji, look, he's trying to teach courage and manners. Um, And yes, he slaps around Luffy and causes nothing but problems for Zoro from then on, but he's a brother to Usopp. Sanji punts Luffy when he was about to shut out Usopp and say something that'll only stand to hurt Luffy himself, but failed to precog Luffy telling Vivi twice. In fact, Sanji was a bro to Usopp the entire arc. Later, when Sanji finally finds Robin, Chopper helped, and is told point blank by Robin that she has no intention on returning to the village. She goes in to claim that there is a darkness in her, a manic pixie dream goth witch that will destroy Sanji, for he is just one man. Sanji is error and begs for Robin to quit masking. He's so twisted up inside, he didn't just leap over to Robin. He just drowned trying to reach Robin. But Robin said too much and left. Sanji cools off, locks in, and sends Chopper to inform the crew of Robin's termination. Sanji in the anime quotes a controversial line. Quote, "A man forgives a woman's lies. Poison is the drink of choice for your brother's keeper." It seems that Sanji had an inkling that Robin wasn't being 100% honest and stalks her from afar. This leads him to the seed train, where he inevitably had a surprisingly tough time against Wanzi, where, near its finale, Sanji freaking crushed Wanzi, just humbling him. You can tell from Sanji's kicks that he wanted to leave Wanzi better than when he found him. He explains to Wanzi his three sins, making Wanzi an abomination. Sins being 1. Lying about being a cook, 2. Wasting food, and 3. Insulting his stalking victim. Wanzi exclaims that he's only trying to be himself, and that Robin is in fact a terrible woman. Sanji is at a loss for words and punishes Wanzi's goofy ass with De Kuzapaz. It means decorate. Hypothetically, 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 you can't change a turd, but you can stick a flag in it. If Robin was a turd, Sanji would stick a flag at her. Chapter 414. It was Sanji's fight with Jabra that won me over. I don't know why. Maybe it was the Muay Thai kicks really drove home the martial arts aspect of Sanji's character. He tried to help Jabra. If Jabra truly wished for help, not anyone would have obliged. But Sanji gave him the benefit of the doubt. And just think of the circumstance. Robin is literally about to be shipped over to hell right now. It's their entire mission. But still, Sanji is putting everyone on equal footing. And in the end, the battle was determined by ironic impatience on Jabra's behalf. Sanji left Jabra with some advice. Like he always tries to do. He tells Jabra that gods created the food, while devils developed the spices, and that perhaps Sanji himself wasn't too hot, but in fact, too spicy. Sanji loses Nami when Oars' foot crashes the shotgun wedding. I like to think Sanji lost the battle because he stared into his perverted neighbor Absalom's bowl in jealousy, Rip Bozo. Sanji then power scales ores for the crew and was a bro to Frankie. Probably helps that his self esteem should be at an all time low. Fast forward to post time skip, why not? We have all the time in the world. Is this video too slow for you? Sanji fed Zoro razor blades, and later he saves Kinemon, a total stranger. And consider the circumstance. Sanji and his crew are already trapped after trespassing and feeding the warrior of the party freaking razor blades. They meet Kinney, and he deduces that Nami's party is not wicked of heart, and is promptly punished by Sanji for simping, calling Ken a, quote, filthy horn dog. This. Is Sanji smoking pot? Because he just called the kettle black leg. My phone generated an actual dark skinned leg when I typed this. It explains why Sanji felt so funky in Long Ring Longland, where Sanji learned the true value of teamwork with his husbando. And I'm not going to gloss over the fact that Kinemon in this instance is a black mirror to Sanji, Black Lake Sanji. And it reveals how Sanji really feels about his pervertedness as an outsider looking in. Anyways, the introduction didn't go over very well on account of them being pirates, and Kenny from South Park struggles to beat the allegations after Frankie power clips Sanji's narrative based abilities. But that's not Sanji's superpower. Despite the guards rushing to check out the explosion, Sanji takes time to hear Ken out and resolves to take responsibility for him, effectively being literal dead weight. Sanji goes on to endanger Nami's body by diving into an ice-cold abyss in order to save a part of Kinemon stuck at the bottom of the lake. And that bitch is a national treasure! I think this is telling. Yes, Sanji loves his friends, and he loves women. But in his own way, he puts everyone above himself, on equal footing. Yes, he simps for girls, but he can't help it. That's just how he's wired. Sanji's chivalry extends to everyone. Chapter 705. Sanji excels in observation hockey. Although he failed to precog the sleeping gas back in Punk Hazard, again, narrative abilities, but also made Sanji tighten up, because now he can spot a sniper from 16 yards away. Wow. The whole deal was a honeypot maneuver, vetted by Violet. Sanji didn't have a snowball's chance in hell. Viola says a lot of hurtful things to Sanji, but Sanji no-sells that shit. The mean girl act doesn't suit you. Viola karate kicks an already battered Sanji with heels. Claims that he's only suppressing his anger, lying in order for her to let her guard down. Sanji saw Viola's tears and thought to himself, she's 100% serious, and I 100% still want to slide my meat down her throat. Look, no one asked for Viola to look into that shit. Sanji exclaims that a million people may curse your name, but he will never doubt a woman's tears. Wow. Okay. A stranger that tricked, mocked, and physically hurt Sanji with heels just revealed themselves to be a rival in his crew's ambitions. And all Sanji can think about is the genuine emotion he experienced from her. He was vibing with this victim for at least an hour, and when he got jumped, he wasn't the slightest bit shocked. Sanji drinks poison willingly, because it will not kill him. Sanji, in his mind, is always safe. Mind you, Sanji excels in observation hockey. As a keeper, you have no business being caught unawares. Chapter 712. Sanji caught Viola's PTSD trappings at its worst. Don Flamingo is like the devil and tends to punish folk based off of inheritance or spite. So the smack talk was definitely some level of projection, calling Sanji's lust for her as a quote, miserable failing. And that ties into the sexual rape committed by Don Flamingo, implied in the SBS corners of the manga. Very uncomfortable. Very yikes. Sanji even has the blonde hair. You can't tell me that didn't trigger something, at least at first glance. But Sanji's trust in Viola, effectively a nobody who hurt him with heels. Or rather, Sanji's trust in Viola's passion existing. It triggered the poor girl into risking it all just so Sanji could get a chance to warn his crew. And with Viola's clairvoyance, he uses that time to help Kinemon fight off some goons, made Zoro give a many thanks, quote unquote, and promptly fly over to protect Nami and the Sunny from the devil himself. The fight is interrupted before Sanji could show any durability feats, but it was a great showing on Sanji's part. Facing overwhelming odds, a seemingly hopeless scenario, unknowingly fighting Violet's abuser, Sanji is doing everything right and is saved in the end, along with his crew, for it. All thanks to Trafalgar D. Law, who, let me just shoehorn Sengoku's capping off of Law's entire PTSD cycle arc. Don't try to look for a reason as to why somebody gave you love. Chapter 862. Pudding grew up being mocked and shamed for what she was. Instant eternal conflict. The twisted Pudding felt no remorse in trapping Sanji in her family's web of violence and deceit. A resident demon. But even devils make mistakes. Sanji is forced to marry Pudding, and in that time, learned of her low opinion of him, and also that she's gonna murder him and his entire family. But when the time came, Sanji was safe and honest. He spilled a few kind words, and it made Pudding feel safe and honest. Never has she realized how much she needed to hear the acknowledgement of her completion. Sanji may not be able to make you beautiful. Stop the cap. But he can make you whole again. Sanji lives flawless in his ways, although he hates his pervy side. His father hates many things about Sanji, but his perviness wasn't discussed. Luffy loves everything about Sanji. The whole crew does. It's the way Judge thinks. Look at Judge. Does that look like a man who feels safe? Poison transfers from person to person via relationships. Sanji breaks the cycle, resolving to be his brother's keeper. And poison is the drink of choice for your brother's keeper. Going forward, Sanji unlocks a sickle mode in his fight against Queen of the Beast Pirates, resolving to die by the hands of his only husbando if his cherished passion were to be forever snuffed out. Fortunately, it seems he can disassociate whenever he wants, in order to humble dickheads and hopefully not suffer PTSD from an old man dying in his arms in the latest chapters. But I wouldn't worry about that. Judge has been fueling Sanji's addiction since puberty. No heartbreak could ever top that fiasco. He's just crazy like that.